finna give it to Clippers. Homegrown. Come on now. We right here. We right here. Getting down. Yes. The big ballers pit. The ballers state. Guess where we at? It's how we get down. Nobody got their own gender. The ball boys is different. Always working on their game. Always working on their game. Yeah, they don't miss no shots. Come on. The game is all threes these days. Come on, bro. I'm finna give it to y'all one more time. If you want a championship, listen to me. I'm making it very easy. Everybody trying to go out and make these trades. Hey, Melo should be over here. Melo should be over here. I don't care where you put Melo. But what I do tell you, if you put him with his brother. Ladies and gentlemen, you hear LeVar Ball, the CEO of Big Baller Brand. He is urging the Los Angeles Clippers to make the deal happen. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom line is LeVar Ball wants Lamelo out of Charlotte. And like I said, LaMelo's right there. You know, you don't have Lamelo. A lot of people want to hear, is Lamelo going to request out? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? You have LeVar Ball speaking, you know, firmly. You understand? LeVar Ball is still at the helm, ladies and gentlemen. Do not get it twisted. I know the media wants to make you believe that LeVar done took a step back. He's not present or missed it. No, ladies and gentlemen. You have been hoodwinked, lied to, and bamboozled. You know, keeping it all the way 100 with you right now. LaMelo Ball would fit perfectly up there in Los Angeles. And not only is you have LeVar Ball petitioning for LaMelo, and not just Melo, the whole entire Ball family, you know, but I believe it starts with LaMelo. You get LaMelo, I believe you get Lonzo, and then you know the rest is history. Listen, man, LaMelo Ball and Charlotte, the time is over with. They have failed him. They have never been the same. They never recovered from Borrego. When you look at LaMelo, you look at a guy who hasn't won. That's what people see when you know, critics. The team sucks. He never been to the postseason. People don't see the 2 years, his first 2 seasons under James Borrego, where they were knocking at the door of the playoffs. They had a top offense in the league. You know, a lot of teams that's, you know, up there in the NBA East or West, they should see that, and it should be very promising to them. You know, you see what's happening with Tyrese Halliburton. You see what's going on with Anthony Edwards. You got to bring in that guy who is the top of that draft class and put him in a squad, put him in a situation that Michael Jordan, Mitch Kupchak, Peterson, none of these guys have been able to do for him. Nobody. Charlotte has had some decent players on there. Yes, Miles Bridges is cool. I think Miles Bridges will fit exceptional on another basketball team. You know, I think LaMelo is the first domino to go for Charlotte, and I think it opens up the rest of the roster because Miles Bridges, the only reason why I think he's still there is because of LaMelo Ball. He survived a lot, you know, and not only did he survive it, he ended up getting an extension. Now, LeVar Ball, what he had revealed too, because he's speaking from the Big Baller Brand estate. Shout out to AB the hero. You understand? AB the hero, the legend. This guy was the first one to basically spread the news that LeVar Ball was building a gym, you know, at his home. And you heard what he said, the Big Baller's pit. You see everything on that court, Big Baller Brand. That's a professional size gym in the house, you know, at the house. I mean, that's something that I think that, you know, it shouldn't go over nobody's heads. LeVar Ball planned this. This was calculated. Now, if you are the Clippers, you see what's going on in LA. You bring in LaMelo. LaMelo basketball is in his backyard. It's time to do it. It's just time. It's all jokes aside. What are the Clippers waiting for? You know, what are the Clippers waiting for? They're not waiting on anything. They have to create some upside with this team. They got a lot of teams that is kind of, you know, iffy here. If I'm not mistaken, the Clippers, they hire former NBA executive of the year in an advisory role. So we don't know what's going on with this guy, Monty McNair. So could he be a guy who could possibly help get LaMelo Ball to the Clippers? We just don't know just yet. But I love what the Clippers could bring for LaMelo, especially with a guy that I know is having a tough time up there in Charlotte. You talk about the new arena. You see what's going on with that arena up there. I just think that you put LaMelo in that new arena that basically is just gonna. No arena is like that in the world. I'm talking about the Intuit Dome, the Madison Square Garden, Crypto. No arena has the capabilities, technology wise, as the Intuit Dome. And if you could put LaMelo in that building, oh my God. I know that the Lakers is Showtime is this. You will have Showtime with the Clippers. You will have Clipper fans. You will have the hometown kid coming home, for real. I know that we had these homecomings in Kawhi and Harden and Westbrook and PG. But it's time to bring in LaMelo Ball to finally get a roster. Hopefully, he's being coached by Tyronn Lue. I know Lue's name has been floated around. We don't know his future going up there with the Clippers. But LaMelo needs a shift, for his career. The Hornets are wasting it. And it's time to see what LaMelo Ball looks like with a serious roster, with him. We already know what it looks like with a subpar roster. I want to see LaMelo Ball quarterbacking with Kawhi Leonard, on the wing. James Harden on the. Could you imagine what LaMelo would do for these guys? He would bring, and Kawhi was in championship mode. This postseason. I just wanted to. This is why I'm excited for the Clippers if it was to happen, because Kawhi was ready. It looked like he was healthy. They found something. And if they could bring in LaMelo and maybe, do some whatever they're implementing, and have LaMelo ready to go for the postseason, have Harden ready to go. I think now you're talking about a team that could go to the conference finals. They already was a team that people were saying, don't sleep on the Clippers. Don't sleep on the Clippers. They're coming. So what do you think is going to happen if they were to somehow acquire LaMelo Ball in a trade? It would send shockwaves and fireworks throughout Los Angeles, and I'm telling you, it would be a real question. Is it the Luka show or the LaMelo show in Los Angeles? And LaMelo got that flair. LeBron on his way out the door. And don't let him get all the ball, brothers, because like I said, Lonzo, if I'm not mistaken, he on a 1-year deal. He just signed, but I think he really got one, and then I believe it's a team option on that second. So Lonzo could be up there right away. It starts with LaMelo, and then we could get the Zoe and then G3. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get in the comment section. It's Flight Sports.